Maybe you can tell me how you first decided that it was an actress that you wanted to be.
I was 11 years old, and I belonged to a Methodist church, which is just down the street from us. And I was there one night, and I watched a glorious lady giving monologues. Oh, my heart was pounding. I wanted to study drama more than anything in the world. So I asked for it, and my father's boss's daughter, she'd just come back from New York, and she was teaching drama. And I asked for it for Christmas, and they gave me a card saying, "You may study drama." And that started me. Monologues, that's what I wanted to do. And then I think, oh, I must have been 3 or 4 years with her, and I saw a play in Knoxville, the Tennessee Valley Players. Well, I fell in love with this man. I wanted to join it, and I did, and was offered a part in the first one, and that's when I knew I wanted to be an actress, because, and I know that the Darling Critic, he got me into the Barter Theatre, which was in Abingdon, Virginia, very soon thereafter. And oh, I loved it. Then I knew I wanted to be an actress. Well, from the Barter Theatre, I came to New York on Christmas, just for about 2 weeks. And I stayed with people that were at the Barter Theatre, like Phyllis Jenkins, and she was there, and she put me up for a week, and then I stayed with somebody else for a week. And oh, Broadway, that's what I wanted. I wanted to go to Broadway, but they insisted I go to Northwestern for 2 years. And then I went to Alvina Krauss's great summer theater. She was my teacher at Northwestern, a fabulous teacher she was. And I was there for the whole summer, and from there I went to New York. And I set up an apartment with 4 other girls that I'd gone to Northwestern with. And we got along fabulously, and I loved it. Plays, plays, plays. That's all, matinees and evening, and I would go where the actors were, you know. Then I don't know if it's still going on, but there was a drugstore, and all the actors were there, and Sardi's and all, and oh, it was such fun, you know, and I loved it. Oh, I really wanted a job, and I was so friendly, and everybody. It was very good. I loved it. And I got a job almost at once. It was fantastic. I was there. I was in New York about 2 months, making a living, cutting pies and scooping ice cream in a Greenwich Village cafe, and making the rounds. And I was an agent. He sent me to read for Voice of the Turtle. That was the name of the one that I understudied first. And I did that for about a year, I think, and I got a job in a play which flopped. And the night it flopped, I got a telegram from Alfred Deliagra, our producer, saying, in effect, "Come back to us." And I was sent to Chicago to understudy. And understudied Katie Stevens and Vivian Vance. And I took over from her for about, 3 weeks. I think she had a nervous breakdown, and I took over from her for about 3 weeks. But I was not nearly, I was 19 then. And that was not nearly old enough to play her. I think she was in her 40s or 50s. But I had a lovely time doing it. It was good.
Now, how did you end up going from an understudy to suddenly starring on Broadway in a Lillian Hellman play?
Well, I wasn't starring, but I played Regina. That's what Tallulah Bankhead had played in The Little Foxes, which was about 20 years before Another Part of the Forest. It's a really fascinating story, if you like. I was understudying Voice of the Turtle. And I had done this thing at oh dear, where was the Theater Guild? Westport. I had done a thing for them the summer before, and it was, I played a hillbilly, and I am a hillbilly, so it fitted very well, and it was in the in the smoky. I mean, I was the seductive one, which I was in those days. And I know that Richard Rogers saw it. Lillian Hellman's divine director saw it, the one who had been directed all of her plays until that time. And Richard Rogers, oh, he liked me, so he wanted me to read for all sorts of things, and I think I'd read for John Loves Mary, and I got the part of Mary in John Loves Mary. And I hadn't signed, and I went to the theater that night. I was understudying, and there was a woman standing in the alley, and she said to me, "Would you like to read for Lillian Hellman for Another Part of the Forest?" And I said, "Oh, I've got a job." And she panicked, and she said, "Oh, please, you must come." So I said, "Okay, I'll go." And so I went the next day, and I read, and I got it, which was fantastic. So I had to choose between them, and I chose Another Part of the Forest, which I like doing. And Richard Rogers was a little astonished. He said, "Oh, nothing you could do because I hadn't signed."
Do you remember the opening night of Another Part of the Forest?
Oh, I do remember, because I was so frightened. I was the scaredest woman you've ever seen in your life. My mother and my brother, who was about 9 years old, or 10, I guess he's 10 years younger than me, they came up, and I'd been at a hotel with them, and my mother, she was so scared of the whole thing, and I had gotten panicky, you know. And I don't see how I did it, but I did. And yeah, Mildred Dunnock was my mother in it, and she knew Tallulah very well. They had done plays together, and she took me to meet Tallulah. And Tallulah said, when she saw the play, she said, "You were as good as I was, and if I'd said you were only half as good, it would have been a hell of a compliment." She was a good woman.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Lillian Hellman also directed that, right?
Yes, she did. It was her first directorial thing.
Can you tell me what it was like to be directed by Lillian Hellman in a play she wrote?
Well, I don't know. She's dead, and I don't think she would mind. I don't think she'd care, because she was not the best director I've ever worked with, but she's a fantastic playwright, you know, just an exceedingly divine playwright, but not the best director. It took her some years to discover that. But we thought we would get raves, because it really had done beautifully. We had been to Boston and all kinds of places, and we thought it was going to get raves, but it was not as good as The Little Foxes. So, but we ran about 6 months, I think, and that was good.
It was quite a personal success for you, though.
Oh yes, it was a great success for me. And when the Tonys first started, Antoinette Perry or something award, I won the first award for the best newcomer.
What did it have the same cachet? Did you know how important it was?
Oh, I was thrilled, you know, but when you're young, you expect everything. I mean, it's not surprising to you when you get raved on. I loved it. She directed me in Another Part of the Forest, and then I went to Hollywood for about 5 years. And then I came back to New York, and I read that Kermit Roomgarden, who was the producer of Another Part of the Forest, that he was going to do the Children's Hour, which was Lillian Hellman's again, and it had been done before, and I wanted to read for it, so I called Kermit and I said, "Could I read for your play?" And he said, "Yeah, I want to." So I was the first to read. I read so magnificently, they let me choose between the parts, and I chose to play Martha.
And who was opposite you?
Kim Honey, yeah.
Kim Hunter, that must have been wonderful.
Oh yes, we loved it, we loved it.
So Lillian directed that production also?
Yes, she directed this one, that one as well. And, well, she was all right. She just was not, she was a much better writer than the director. Well, you know, if you're an actress, you are an actress. And you have all the confidence in the world. And I always wanted to be an actress, and I had a lot of confidence. And it was as it should be, which was great fun. But no, I expected to be a successful actress. You know, I really did, and I have been. I have been. So you're going to come here,
If you don't mind.
and we will say,
Cheese.
we love each other.
We love each other. Mwah. That's nothing to apologize.
I loved it.